and lack of proper guidance to purpose discovery. For this reason, I created a project titled the Blessing Initiative. Now, Blessing is actually an acronym for Building Life Essence by Sustaining Self in the Nature of God. This project will try to solve these problems I earlier mentioned by providing quality healthcare services to students as required by them, then also providing adequate study materials which will aid effective learning, and then lastly, organizing seminars or conferences where finding God and finding purpose, discovering purpose will be taught. So in general, this project will ensure the maintenance of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being of the young adult who is in school. Once again, my name is Blessing Okomadu, custodian 021021. Please vote for this project. It will be a blessing to you.
Hi, my name is Ayomide, one of the fathers as Reality TV Project Custodian. I happen to be custodian number 20. It's no news that the population of those with different disabilities in Nigeria is skyrocketing day by day, and we can likely link this to the fact that the present state of the country, the high level of insurgency, bad road, has left so many of them in the condition they are today. And this brings us to Project Disability. Project Disability is birthed from the word disability. It is majorly for the impaired, that is the disabled. The aim here is to make the society at large and this special individual see that there is actually ability in disability. That sounds good, I know. Just bridging the gap thing between those that are not and this special individual with a series of events that we've actually put in place and innovative ideas that are one of its kind. Firstly, we'll be having a 7-day skill acquisition empowerment scheme plus a trade fair, to empower them depending on their individual disabilities and to also fund, that is to empower them. Secondly, we'll be having the first ever of its kind in Nigeria. This time is Impaired Nigeria, which is a platform, to bring these individuals out there. We have handsome men, we have beautiful men among them. We're bringing them out to the world. Lastly, we'll be having the first ever fashion runway show for people with disability. That is so amazing. I know that already. They've always wanted to show themselves, but there's this tag thing on them. This will be a platform to bring them together. And I must say, fashion is a good way to bring people together. Thank you very much. Please, I remain custodian number 20. And don't forget to vote for this idea. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Blessings, custodian number 15 of the Father's House Reality TV show. Yes, there is an anomaly I've discovered in the society. I am a woman, and whatever seems to touch a woman affects me so deeply. It pains my heart every day I go out and I see a fellow woman like me, a fellow lady like me, on the street, half naked, looking for money. When you ask, they'll tell you they're looking for money just to make ends meet. A woman will just go about, sell her body just to get money, to make ends meet. And I've come to discover, in the society, you see more of women with children, baby mamas. And I've had time to discuss with some of those baby mamas to ask why, what happened. And from my interaction with some women, some ladies like me, some will tell you, I have no one to help me. So for that reason, I entered into this. I met somebody to help me. And these women are so vulnerable. These ladies are so vulnerable because men, some of the men out there are just there to take advantage of the fact that they have nothing to do. And as such, it pains my heart to see a woman being idle. It pains my heart to see a woman doing nothing. And because of this, I have come up with a project called Women Education and Empowerment Project called WEEP. Now, why WEEP? I came up with this project just because I want to help in my own little way salvage the young ladies, salvage women from ignorance. I believe one of the problems of this thing is ignorance. The women are not well equipped. The women are not well empowered. Now, there is a saying that goes, when you empower and educate a woman, you educate a nation. Quote me anywhere. When you empower and educate a woman, you educate and empower a nation. Now, one of the problems I've discovered and I've highlighted, to solve this problem, WIP, the main aim and objective of WIP is to create a decent job, create decent jobs in a sustainable way for all women across the globe, across Nigeria, the 36 states with the FCT inclusive. And how do I intend to go about this project? Now, I intend going about this project so that by creating a program called Operation Rescue Them Young, rescue them from the interior villages, whereby some people will be organized, some women will be organized, we're going to be organizing seminars, we're going to be organizing programs like skill acquisition, so that a woman, at least an average woman in Nigeria, an average young lady in Nigeria can be equipped at least with one skill. With one skill. If a woman in Nigeria, every woman in Nigeria has one skill, then most of the problem of abject poverty can be reduced. I still remain Blessings, Custodian 015. Vote for me. Follow the show. Follow the program. It is educative, it is entertaining, and it is the spiritual. You can't afford to miss out on this program. For you to vote for me properly, for you to follow up properly, follow up the program, vote me. I repeat, vote me, support me, and God will bless you.
Hello, my name is Rose King. I'm Custodian 018. Over the years, we have come to discover the high level of poverty in our society. And so many things, many Nigerians are looking up for a white-collar job. The level of insecurity in the country and all that, people are not financially stable. You are eating from hand to mouth and just to make an ends meet. So that is the problem, so many of it that I have come to identify in our society. And I'm coming up with this project called Training and Empowerment, Financial Empowerment and Stability Project. This project is a project that is aimed at building a multi-purpose capacity building, which will train Nigerians on skills and vocation, and for them to be financially stable and independent, so that even with time they could build themselves, because as an individual is built, they also will be able to build the society. So this project is going to help the government, each and every citizen, to develop themselves financially and be stable, which will partner with several NGOs locally and internationally to make sure that as we train these people and certify them, they will be in conjunction with us, that they will be empowered with various skill tools, which depending on the skill acquisition they have acquired. Thank you. Vote for this project. I remain Rose King, Custodian 018.
Hello, my name is Unity Yahaya Sambu. I'm Custodian 10. So, over the years in Nigeria, I have seen people, rather let me say recently, there have been a need for more handy men, more skillful men. And we have little or less of such people. So this is one of the reasons why this project came to my heart. I intend to do child skill learning. But this time around, I want to take it from the orphans and less privileged. I do that because most of them wouldn't even have people who would sponsor them. People have gone to orphanage, once in a while, occasionally buy books for them, buy biros, give them clothes to eat, and they are gone. And it's done occasionally like that. But when you give them something that is sustainable,
I'm really shivering. I still feel good. Yes, now. She wants to come and see. No, it's hitting her more than it's hitting you. No, don't change it. No, don't change. That's how I'm starting. graduated. Then it's 2 years later, so.
Okay.
Probably it's interesting.
Yeah. Very nice.
So you will still continue with us.
What's the time now?
9, I say 9, 10:37.
It's okay, 11.
I don't know. There's something wrong with that.
As a rose, I was shivering.
Oh, welcome.
Especially that first time.
Alright, I think we should start now.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, you're welcome back. Yeah, so we were talking about the challenges faced with developing new physical features as a lady entering into, or as a girl entering into womanhood. So, and Custodian Rose was helping us with that and telling us ways on how to cope with it. So yes, we are learning a lot from her. We can continue.
Okay, thank you once again. Yeah, like I was saying, at that point, because previously I have been prepared mentally for it. I could remember my mom bought all those things, perfume, roll-on, the pad and everything, like how to be. So it gave me that power, like I was feeling myself, I'm kind of special at this point. Even when I'm walking on the road, I don't see guys, like I see that, that kind of thing. And I embraced my awesomeness. So for me, even looking at that point with all the feeling, I feel like no guy is what, I feel so special at that point. So I embraced my awesomeness at that point, and I was able to handle that feeling and everything, because each time it comes, I was like, no, I've already know what this is all about. So the only thing I did was pray to God to help me. And in the midst of people and other guys, teenagers, I always tell them, do you know this is the information, this is what I cared about. I was at a point now teaching them, like, this is it too. So some of them like, how did you know? How did you know all these things? And then it now gave me an edge. I was talking to my other fellow teenagers, they begin to feel that at a point it's now a clique that when we are coming as girls, they begin to see us as special. We dress neat, we're so cautious of our neatness and everything. So it really helped a lot that even teenage boys were afraid to come near us because of how we carried ourselves. And that was because we're mentally prepared for it. And I was opportune to also talk to them about that. With the way I carry myself, they now begin to see me like, let's go and talk to. So even if a teenage boy is talking to them or anybody, so they will come and tell me, this is what I'll just tell them what to do at that point. So it really helped me. So
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you so much. Okay.
Alright, so I would go back and ponder on this issue about relating well with your family.
Yeah.
Because
Really
I think that our body talks to us. So when we don't tell our bodies, this is it, you're entering this phase, these children, these girls rather, would go out there and someone else would tell them.
Yeah. In the wrong way.
It's either they tell them the right things or they tell them the wrong things. Somebody will start feeling like that, and people get ashamed. Wow, what is happening to me? I know of, I heard of a story of a girl who started protruding here, and then her grandmom, instead of telling her this is it, the girl started developing breasts at a very tender age. So the grandma said
that if she allows it, her breast will be so big when she grows up. So they started tying it and pressing everything down. You know, this kind of, I don't know how exactly, this kind of treatment, how will this person grow up to feel good about their bodies, about your body, about yourself? So I think the right information, going out to meet people who give you the right information really matters. And then another thing I taught in a school, and I noticed some people girls, you cannot just come out like that. You need to take care of yourself. Your body needs care. Your body needs care. And that's why the place of getting right information comes into play. You get the right information. And then to people who are aunties, mothers, parents, uncles, don't shy away from telling it doesn't even have to be your daughter. It could be a neighbor's child. It could be your sister. Don't shy away. Don't carry the how would I say, African mentality. How do I start saying this type of? Don't tell them these things. If you don't tell them, they will go out there and they will explore. And because your body wants to react to everything they are feeling. So when you tell them the right things, that's all right.
Wait, let me just add to this. It also boils, like Rose really spoke very, very well about this. Yes, it also boils down to, you know, as this is for the parents, telling your child how unique they are, also complimenting, like telling them how beautiful as they are growing. Tell them how beautiful they are, because if you don't, they will go outside feeling like they will have feeling awkward. For instance, when I was growing, I think my sister used to tease me and say that my breast is very small. So and honestly, it happens. You know, sometimes your friends come saying you, this your breast is very small. Yes, that you are not growing. You'll be seeing others growing at all. And then later, as I was growing, I had information that from outside that if you press your breast, that it's going to get bigger. But then I said, so that's all I need to do to make my breast big, because I felt like they've told me that my breast was small, and I wanted my breast to be big like other people. So I had that if I pressed my breast, it's going to be big. And I started pressing my breast so that it would be big. But it was not even working. It was paining me. So I had to tell my sisters that I'll see what I had. And then they corrected that information. So it all boils down to telling them how beautiful. Imagine if, just as she said, the information, what her parents had told her, made her carry herself so high. But if her parents had been telling her, wow, you are still growing, or, you know, telling her you have small breasts, too, this is your breast, she would have gone outside and been feeling so, yes. So it boils down to the parents, too. The people around her, especially her parents, when the teenage girl starts growing, tell her how beautiful she is. Tell her, wow, you are very beautiful, you know. I have a friend that always, his sisters, in fact, honestly, to be honest, it's not as if they are very beautiful, but if you see the way they carry themselves, because he always used to tell them, wow, you look very beautiful. Just that thing alone, growing up with it, if you can never deceive that child that she's ugly. There's no how, nothing you tell. And even me, sometimes I used to look at the girl, this girl is not really fine. But if you see the way when she's talking, she'll say, for instance, me, I'm very beautiful. My mind, I was just looking, who told you? But the truth is that that's how it's the mindset that
that confidence.
It's not like a default setting for her. She believes she's beautiful. You can't tell her she's ugly. So it's good we tell them these things, tell them good things about themselves. It builds their self-confidence.
In summary, I want to tell our parents, no, we have to know that the mind is a battlefield. It's a battleground. Whatever you tell someone, you've sown a seed into that person's heart. Imagine you're telling somebody you are not good, you're not beautiful, you are like this, your head is like this. You are gradually sowing a seed into that girl's heart. And that seed you're sowing, just be very, very sure it's going to germinate. And if it germinates, it's going to be positive or negative. So we should be cautious of the kind of seed we sow into the lives of people. No, I was in a place someday and I saw a very small girl with this very sharp mouth. A guy told her, wow, you're beautiful. Immediately she said, that's no news.
I know.
That's no news. I was like shocked. I had to look at her again. And I discovered the parents must have done their background work. Because you can't come to that girl, you can't, when she grows to a teen age, A guy can't come and tell her, you are beautiful.
She'll be feeling special.
There's nothing special about it because it is no longer a news to her. So we should be careful the kind of seed we sow into the lives of our children.
Yeah. Very important, yes. I really enjoyed what we all said. It is very impactful. We should, because personally, should I say I kind of passed through that phase, when I was growing up, especially not just physical features, but especially if there is anything about you that is unique or that is different from others. Because while I was growing up, I discovered that I'm different from other people because I'm unfair. Almost everywhere I go to, I'm always like the fairest there. So I didn't even know it was something some other women were dying to get. So I saw it as a disadvantage. Meanwhile, it was like an advantage to me. Yes. So I just needed somebody to tell me that it's not bad. It's fine. You are good. In fact, use it to to glorify God. Use it to tell people of the goodness of God and all of those things. So if there is anything about you that is making you see yourself as it's disadvantage. For instance, now let me even give examples like you are not as tall as others, or you are taller than others, because psychologically it has an effect on you. When anybody mentions something like that, you just think they are talking about you, all of those things. I'm just trying to tell us now that it is God-given. It is your own unique, your own unique characteristics, and so you should use it to, as an advantage to speak to people. So don't make it allow you withdraw from the society. It should be your a selling point. Do you get? It's like a plus to you. Whether you feel okay, you are slim. Some people feel they are too slim. So it is not a disadvantage as far as you are not sick. As far as you are not sick, you are okay, you are normal. So don't allow it discourage you from relating with people the way you should, because don't forget we're talking about God here. We're not just talking about the girls, we're talking about God, we're talking about sex. So as a girl, if there's anything that is preventing you from coming out to relate with people, it will be very difficult for you to pass the message of Christ to people.
Yes.
It will be very, very difficult.
Yes. You're saying something just dropped in my mind now. As a girl, if you're a girl child out there and then you're feeling disadvantaged because of your body structure, no. I want you to note this. It's so funny, but that's just the reality. If you are short and you feel, my shortness is my disadvantage, you are just unique.
Yes.
If you are short and anybody is taller than you, the person is too tall.
Exactly.
If you are slim and anybody is fatter than you, the person is too fat. If you are fat and somebody is slimmer than you, you are too slim. So you are just unique. And like the way she said, that she was looking at her fair color as if it was a disadvantage to her while she was growing up. My dear, if you are fair and you're out there and somebody is dark, close to you, that person is too dark. And if you are dark and someone fair comes close to you, don't look at it. Yes, it's too fair. So you are just unique the way you are, whether short, tall, slim, fat. You are just yourself, and you are just unique. You are created in the image of God. So you celebrate yourself. I celebrate my skin nature.
So just like around this back up, when she started talking about the short part, I'm actually very short. You should see me. I actually call myself a midget at times. And one day somebody was asking me that, how do you cope? And I couldn't relate, because I will still go back to the foundation. I come from a home where these things are not discussed. We don't discuss you are short, you are tall, you are average, because all of us are different. So my parents, it will be very hard for them to be saying, you are short, you are tall. My younger sister is 16-year-old and she's taller than me. Very skinny, very tall, so amazing and super, and I'm the shortest person in my family. But one thing I always see my mom say is this over and over: you are who you are because God made you this way.
This way.
So she always make me feel like I'm doing people a favor. I'm not kidding you. She like, God needs you this way. So if you're not like this, there was a time I wanted to bleach my skin more. Because my mom is fairer than me. And because they always say you look like your mom, I feel like I must look like her to the fullest potential. Like my mom's teeth is so, she's just so amazing. She has everything complete. Dimple, all of these things. And my teeth is not set, all of this kind of thing. People will tell me whenever you talk, this place is not, your teeth is not showing here. Do you have teeth there? And this thing happened when I went to university. Because from secondary school, my mom literally ingrained it in my teachers that you don't tell my kid anything I don't ask you to tell them. If you try it with me, you won't like yourself. So going to university, she can't come to university to do that, right? So I remember going on one day, I was complaining, I want braces, 100 level, I need braces. And she's like, what do you need braces for? I want to correct my teeth. She said, who told you your teeth is bad? And I said, is it not bad? She said, no, God needs you the way you are. So if you change it, I don't know what God will say. So literally, she's just making me feel like...
Build your self-confidence.
So at that point, whenever I go out and people tell me, how do you feel about being short? I see like you asking me that, how do you feel about God creating you the way you are? And I will tell them, do you need an answer? Do you see that moving car? Go in front of it. You are going straight to heaven. When you get to heaven, ask God. And when you tell you answer, come back. So from that day onward, nobody can literally tell me that you are sure. You can't. If you tell me, I'll tell you it's stale news. So say something else. Look for something else about me and tell it to me. If you tell me I'm short, I know because God needs me that way. If you tell me I'm probably my teeth is not good, I know God needs it that way. If you tell me my voice is too loud, I know God needs it that way. Do you understand? So if anybody tells you anything, tell them God needs me the way I am.
Very important. So before we move to the next question, just very brief, let me quickly say this. You know, there is a common saying that says, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And I must put this forward before we continue, that your first beholder, the first person that saw, no, not even yourself, the first person that beheld you was God. And after beholding you, he said that you are good. All the things he created are good. They are perfect. So you are beautiful the way you are. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't look at me and say, I want to be as fair as Custodian Blessing. No. You are the way you are just perfect. And God loves you that way. By the time you start trying to drift from how he created you, then you are already telling God that you made a mistake. And he will not be happy with that, because he was intentional when he created you. He intentionally made you very tall. He intentionally made you short if you think you are. He intentionally made you fat if you think you are. He intentionally made you fair if you think you are. And whatever stature or structure you have. So don't allow anybody body shame you. And
sorry, I want to jump just quickly before we end. I'm going to make it very short. The word short, especially though, I'll use these two words because it's what is stigmatizing most. The word short and the word fat is not a bad thing. It is just a word. The way being tall is a word, short is okay. If somebody says you are short, yes, you are short. It is not to make you bad. If somebody comes and tell me I'm fat, yes, I'm fat because that is what I am. It is not a bad word. Exactly. The society and the world has put it into the fact that tall and slim are the good words, and then their opposite, short and fat, are bad and negative. They are not. They are words, they are description. If you want to describe me now, you cannot come and describe me without telling me I'm fat, because that is who I am. It doesn't make it bad. There's so much stigmatization around the word short and fat, and that needs to be corrected.
Okay, then the next point I want us to make is concerning ladies or girls who say you are a virgin. You are just a virgin because you don't have the opportunity. So I want to throw that question to our presidential candidate here. Eunice Samuel. Okay, yes, I have heard it a lot of times, and it has made our society get worse, because it's looking like sexual purity or virginity is old school. It's now getting obsolete. It's now an outdated fashion in our society. So once you say, oh, I'm a virgin, chaste. They look at you as being abnormal. So what is happening? What's the cause? And what is the solution to this situation we have found ourselves in?
All right, thank you very much for this question. I would like to start with my own experience. One certain time in school, we were just randomly discussing, and then somehow this topic came into play, and I really needed to just say that, okay, I'm a virgin. Are you sure? Like, are you kidding me? I'm talking about myself here. I said I'm a virgin. Okay. We hear all these holy people, all this skinny, all this. First of all, let me state clearly, it is not obsolete. Sexual purity cannot be obsolete. Yes, it's possible you have made a mistake or along the line, but that does not mean, what's it called, people that are trying to keep that aspect of their life, they are not obsolete at all. Society has made the abnormal normal, and what is normal to be abnormal. That because everyone is doing it doesn't make it normal, doesn't make it right. Exact. Thank you. It does not make that everyone is just coming and saying, because I'm not saying it doesn't make you. Don't feel okay because you're trying to keep yourself sexually pure. It shouldn't make you feel that maybe I should have just tried this thing. Let me just try it small so that I'll have a story to tell. You don't need that. Thank you. Because Terry and Kishi used to say something. You don't need a mess for God to make a message. You don't need it. Trying to keep yourself sexually pure is God's way. It's still God's way. God is still proud that you are doing that. But if at all you made a mistake along the way, it's still fine. Come back to God. God is so exact. God heart is large. He wants to embrace you. You've made a mistake. Another thing I really want to correct is the fact that, okay, you made a mistake. If you're not trying to correct yourself, please don't make people who feel bad about themselves. Don't make people feel like they are not, they don't know, they don't sabi this thing. Don't make people feel like that. This is God's design. You shouldn't bring your ideologies and make it look like, okay, if you're not doing it this way, then you are not right. You made a mistake, fine. Instead of trying to feel, okay, everybody's doing it. Why not sit down, reflect? God, what do I do to correct this? What do I do to come back? In fact, God is actually, his hands is just like this. Come back to me. His hands are wide open. Come back to me. Secondly, do not fall or don't make the mistake of trying to make another person who is keeping themselves pure feel bad. It is not abnormal to say sexually pure. Another thing I would like to say again is that feeling sexually aroused, it is not wrong. It is normal. In fact, if you know they feel
something's wrong.
We need to come and see us, bless us. We need to check you out. We need to check you out. The fact that you feel it doesn't make shouldn't make I've seen today. Holy Ghost, help me. No. Embrace it. It's an aspect of your life that God made, and you should enjoy every part of it. I'm not saying you should exploit. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Abigail,
okay. I want to talk to those who are strictly to those who are still virgins out now. I'm not going to castigate anybody, but I want to talk specifically to those who are still virgins, who haven't had sex. I would love you to borrow this from my life. There's something I do always. I'm a virgin. I've never had sex before, and for some reason, I don't know why I do that. I always somewhat bring it up in every conversation that I'm with my friends. If I'm close to you, I will somehow chip it in to show you that I'm proud of it. So I want to tell you now, please be proud of it. There are hurdles. I will not say I have not gone through the trials of almost having sex. It took a lot to overcome those. But be proud. Carry your head up high that I've gone through trials and temptation. I've been able to come over it. Don't let somebody out there make you feel like, oh, because you're a virgin. There are many people have told actually that I'm a virgin. I'm like, this one is lying. Many times.
Yeah.
Some people once they tell you that you tell them that you're a virgin, that is when their demonic spirit comes out. They now want to tempt you to have sex. They bring up so many things. But trust me, if you've managed to keep yourself, no matter how long age you are, 13, 50, whatever age you are, if you manage to hold yourself, be proud of it. You see God above, he just they smile, they say, this my picking on. He don't try for me, they hold down so much. He's so happy. And then for people who have been able, I think one thing that makes people explore so much and what has made sexual purity not obsolete but abnormal now in our age is the fact that parents don't talk to their children. Parents don't engage their children in conversation of sex. So they give their child the idea that, okay, since they are not getting it from home, they are going to get it outside. If you don't talk to your child at home about certain things, teenagers, and it's normal for us to explore. It's normal for us to want to know more. That is how we are. That is our characteristics. That is the major thing that comes with being a teenager. So if you don't talk to them at the young age of, okay, first of all, you explain what sex is and tell them God's standard about sex, they will explore outside. All parents these days, especially Christian parents, are meant to attack you. All you do is put fear in your child's heart that don't do this. If you do this, if I make people go as far as if you touch a boy, you're going to get pregnant. Trust me, that fear is not helping them. When they go outside and they find out, okay, if you touch the boy, they're not pregnant. They want to say, okay, this thing was a lie that I was told. What more have I been told that it's not really true? And that is actually what leads a lot of ladies and guys now to having sex. That's actually what does. So, as a child, as a mother, as a father, sit your child down, sit your girl child down, sit your male child down. Talk to them about sex. Let them ask questions. They have a lot. And trust me, them knowing already can say, okay, I know this thing. Is it worth me going out to do this? Some of them just consciously, okay, I've known that this is not so special. There's no use going outside to do this. Let me just keep myself. Majority of people who you've seen have teenage sex now, they don't have the education with their homes. That is why we're having so many teenage sex, teenage pregnancy and all of that. So parents, stop having Nigerian or African mentality. Once they're at a certain age that you are sure they are getting close to that maturity, 12, 13, 10 now is even very mature. There are ladies that see their period at 8. Talk to them. Let them know these things. And don't put fear. Fear does not help anything. Fear pushes them out more. If we had the fact that we are scared of God, we will not be with God right now. So let them understand these things. Don't put fear in their mind. Teach them properly. It will help a lot.
Kishi, before you say something, let me just, we'll all have our last word before we leave, so we can just save it as our last word. And let me just quickly direct a question to Custodian Blessings. Custodian Blessings, they have all said it's good that we maintain our sexual purity. They even advise the parents to help in fostering that notion. But we need to be also clear on, okay, what are the benefits if I keep myself? What do I stand to gain? So can you educate our viewers on that?
All right, thank you very much for those wonderful questions. There are benefits attached to keeping yourself. So many benefits spiritually, mentally, physically. Because I can use myself as a case study. Like I found myself amongst peers and amongst group, and then when you talk about sexual purity, being outdated, I don't go about telling people I'm a virgin, I'm like this. If they discuss, I keep quiet. I'll watch them, they talk, I will filter, carry the one that I know I can consume. The one I can't consume, I'll just squeeze it and throw it away. Because I've been with people who will tell you, if you are a virgin, when you want to give birth, when you get married and you want to give birth, it must be through CS, that it is not good. Keeping yourself for that long is not good. Medically, it's not good because it's going to affect you. The first time I heard that word, I went back home, I ruminated on it, I thought about it. I said, God, really? Does that mean when I want to give birth to my first child, I'm going to pass through this? Or, God, how am I going to do it? Immediately, God answered me, why are you bothering yourself over something you are not there yet? Calm down. When that time comes, I will handle it.
I had to calm down. Because like I said earlier, the mind is a battlefield. As people are talking, you are picking something, your mind will just pick one, and when you go back home, when you want to sleep, you start ruminating over it, you start thinking about it. So like, talking about being a virgin, keeping yourself, there are benefits attached to it. It makes you concentrate physically. It makes you to be, make your eye to be single. The Bible says if your eye is full of light, single, you will be full of light. It makes you to think straight. Like I don't have any relationship now, but I can't just be hungry for relationship. Yes, I just want a relationship. It makes me think straight. I don't bother myself. No, I am focused. I don't bother myself. I'm not trying to tell you not to bother yourself when you need relationship. But I feel when it is time for relationship will come. I don't bother myself. Relationship, my mates and relationship, what do I do? And it makes that I was discussing with a lady. She told me, I feel this hunger will come definitely. But you who have been into this thing, your own hunger is higher. The hunger for it is higher than one who have not tasted it before. So you are an advantage, and you can control your hunger when the feelings come. I remember the very first time I started having this feeling of sex. I didn't even know it was a feeling of sex. I was like, God, I cast and I bind. I was binding and casting, and it was later I discovered this thing is normal. It's a normal thing, because I now started laughing at my ignorance because I was binding and casting. God, what is this? What is happening to me? No, you understand? So when this urge comes, you can manage it. And because you don't know how it feels going to sleep with a man, you don't know how it tastes. So you can't just, because I'm having this feeling, God, my boyfriend is calling me, or this one is calling me. Some persons can go as far as traveling from Lagos to Kaduna. You understand? Just to satisfy. So it makes you concentrate. It makes you spiritually, you are just okay. Because when you join yourself to another person, there's a spiritual consequences, because you are just joining spirits. I pity those people who just jump from one place to another, because you are just carrying different spirits. You understand? Because when you talk about sex, people just look at the physical pleasure. They don't think about the spiritual aspect of it, because when you join yourself to this person, spiritually, there's a transfer process. You can't tell me the spirit of that person. In fact, I have contacted that person's spirit. So when you keep sleeping, you jump from here. Imagine how many spirits that you've attached yourself. That is why at times we just invite unnecessary spirits into our system, into our body. That is why so many times you see some persons suffering from something they don't even know, because they got it through somebody else. Through jumping from one place to another. So spiritually, it makes you say, you are just okay. You are okay spiritually, you are okay physically, you are not bothered about, it is time for me to have sex. I need to have, you are not just bothered about it. It takes, there was a time a guy asked me, I have many male friends, asked me, you don't have feelings. That is, he has been trying to, and I didn't notice it, and my mind wasn't even there. So he had to come up. You don't have feelings. Not that I don't have feelings. If I have designed my heart to love somebody, I was telling Kishi the other time, I will so love that person bastardly. I will love the person to the point that the person can just be pressing my moon button all the time. But if I don't have feelings for you, if I don't have anything for you, if you like, do, just be demonstrating, show like peacock. I will just see you, and it will be like a normal thing to me. So keeping yourself has so many advantages. It gives you an edge over so many things, because you can control so many things. When the pressure comes, you can control it. Physically, you can control the pressure. Spiritually, you are maintaining your standard, and you are saying before God, God can attest to the fact, not that God doesn't love those who have gone astray. God loves everybody. He loves everybody. So when you make a commitment to stay pure, God will also make his own commitment to keep you. This thing is a commitment. No, I never decided to stay pure because I don't want to go to hellfire. Some persons will be like, I don't want to sin because I don't want to go to hellfire. It is a personal commitment I've made to keep myself, not for any other thing, not for any other benefit. I just want to. And so when I hear people talk about the disadvantages, and to me, and your own, no, I will not argue with you.
Exactly.
I won't argue with you. In my mind, and your own you dey talk. When you finish, I pick the one I want to pick, and I leave the remaining garbage.
Okay. Ines, make your additions.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, what's it called? There is this notion about, okay, if I don't try it, how do I know who I'm compatible with?
Yes.
You know?
So
How
job
do I know?
compatibility.
Okay, what if I get married? How do I start this thing? Really? When God gave Adam Eve, he didn't, before Eve came, Adam did not sit and say, God, Baba God,
This is my preference.
please, can you give me another? Let me just try before Eve will come. You don't need to do that. One of the advantages of staying pure till you actually meet your husband is that you don't even have prior knowledge. You don't know what compatibility is or not being compatible. You will grow together with this person. You will learn, unlearn. You will, because you don't even know. Your mind is pure. You don't have, okay, I want it this way, I don't want it this way. And this is one of the things that is actually causing issues in marital homes. People are not even satisfied sexually because they've gone around, they've tasted different, you know, and then they are here, their husband probably is not meeting up to the standard. So they have issues. It's very clear. Please, try as much as, keep yourself sexually pure. This thing about compatibility is not one of them. It's a notion that the society just wants to make you feel that, okay, I want to let me try this so that I will know whether I'm compatible or not. There is nothing like exactly to know that you are compatible.
Exactly.
Please desist from that. When you get married, God will help you. God will, and me saying God will help you doesn't mean you shouldn't. What's it called? Help yourself. Get the necessary knowledge you should get, please.
All right. Okay, so
Okay, for me, I want to talk to those that are no longer virgins. Yes, you know, we've actually focused on those that are virgins. What about those that actually lost their virginity? I want to say this. One of the mistakes or the lie that the devil will tell you is that you have lost it, you have lost it. So you just have to continue. In fact, once you've lost your virginity, it now looks like maybe when a guy is coming and he wants to sleep with you, now like, what am I keeping it for again? Where is he going to even show on my face? So you will just continue to give in, and you feel there's nothing special again. Exactly. So you feel like after all you have already lost the virginity. So let you come and just stay. Nobody will know that you're even sleeping with this one. You get, and then you'll be like, let you not even lose this person. You don't want to lose the guy or so. So let you just, if you feel like just giving in. But that's actually a lie from the devil. But those that have actually lost it, don't allow, you know, sometimes truly you can be feeling, when others are saying that they are virgins, you'll be feeling, hey, okay, you know, but the truth is that what I've even gone through about that. You know, nobody. Exactly. Normally, it's those that have lost their virgin that's supposed to be feeling bad. But now, it's even those that are virgins that are now feeling bad. But I'm still talking to those out there that have actually lost it. The truth is that this is what you need. I feel you should tell yourself. There's something there's a word my sister told me. She said, I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world rather than stand with the world and be judged by God. So the truth is that this thing you're doing, is it right in the sight of God? And then, you know, I remember back then, for me, how this helped me is that I tried so many ways. I'll say, okay, if I want to sin against God, I'll remember my dreams and my visions and who I want to be. I'm a great person. I'll not do this thing. It didn't work. When I tried so many things, I would say, okay, see what will happen. I even used my pastor as my GP, so that anytime the temptation comes, I'll now see my pastor, I'll now remember, no, this is who I want to be like. It did not work. But what helped me, it was this scripture. The Bible says, if you love me, you will do what I ask you to do. That the fact that you say, every time you go to God and say, Father, I love you, I love you, it's not just in the words of saying I love you. It's in doing what he asks you to do. That was one of the things that helped me. So anytime I go to God and say, I love you, I would rather show God I love him through my actions. And then the truth is that if you love somebody, you can't say you love this person and you want to hurt this person. It's not true. If you love this person, you want to do everything to please that person. You even want to go out of your own way. So that was one of the things that helped me. I love God, and I was like, there's one scripture that says, why call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? So why will you be saying you are my Lord? You go to church and sing, you are everything. You come back, you are still going to the bed of fornication. That's no love. God is just looking at you and saying, yet you say you love me. So if you love him, you will do what he asks you to do. And that was what helped me. Instead of using my pastor, this as my wallpaper, so that anytime the temptation comes, I will see the picture and all. It was this scripture, because I love God, and I would rather stand with God and be judged by the word than to stand with the word and be judged by God.
Thank you very much. Kishi, briefly, please.
I would speak to the people, if I speaking, and I'm coming from a place of experience anyways. There is something I like to tell people. Sexual purity is not only virginity.
True.
So if you don't understand that part, you would mix it. Because I'm not trying to attack anybody. Do you understand? I'm not even going to do that. But there's one thing I've realized, because when I was trying to bounce back, one thing that even virgins kept telling me was, it doesn't have to be that bad. You can satisfy yourself in other ways and all of these things. And I will not lie to you. I told God that if this is what these people are doing, then what's the point? We are all the same actually. Because the Bible never said those that are virgins. It said those that are pure. Do you understand? And where I'm coming from this angle is because I always say it, something should be irritating to you.
Exactly.
See, when I gave my life to Christ, one of the things that helped me is because God changed my taste bud. Some things became so unappealing to me that you can't just do it with me. I lost so many friends because I was almost disgusted by the things they say. Same thing I've done for 2 years. And my friends now begin to feel scared of saying it in front of me. Do you think that's normal? It's not. And there's one book, I will say this, I can recommend it outside. I don't know if it's okay for me to recommend it. It's by my pastor. He will say it over and over. Do you know your angels are always around you? So when you are in bed, is your angels in bed with you? And I always tell people that thing over and over. That consciousness that God is there. And he also take me back to this part. I always say, I want to be able to get married and I'm having sex. This is the front part of it. That God is saying, all the angels in heaven are saying, we want to go to Kishi house. Because something only is happening there. And they come there and it's sex me and my husband are having. But because it is in a very holy and acceptable way, the angels are singing songs when we are coupling together. Because it is done in the normal process. And it is so delightful to God that God will be saying, you angels, don't go. I have meeting here. They're like, we will come back. Let's just go. Do you understand? So there are ways you can make yourself understand that this is it. And I always tell people this over and over. Sex is overrated. Take it or leave it. I'm not saying I'm not a virgin. Take it. So if I tell you sex is overrated, I'm saying it from experience. It is overhyped, overrated. The most overrated thing in the world is sex. Do you know why? When you are done with it, you are disgusted with yourself. Not even because it is a sin, but because you are not pleased. So you are like, is this really the thing I'm stressing for? So, and I always tell people this, sex is a gift from God. So any day you start seeing sex as something that is overrated, it means you have done it in the wrong way. Take it or leave it. So even if you are married and you are fornicating outside of your partner, you are still a sinner. Because it is no longer going to have its glory in front of you. And gifts are not meant to be treated as trash. Gifts are precious jewels that you should always treasure. Because whoever is giving you a gift is giving you a part of themselves that they could have kept. So for them to have given it to you, they are giving it to you because they feel like you need it. So any day, I'll keep saying it, any day sex become overrated to you, you've lost it. you've lost it, and nobody can tell you anything else again. So back to the whole virginity or anything, and I'm addressing people in my age range, not even just teenagers, in your 20s, in your mid-20s, in your early 30s. One big quality you want to keep is your purity, not just the sexual part.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Nobody can see God if they are not pure.
Yeah.
He said only the pure in heart would see God. And should I tell you one of the things the devil does to you when you've lost these things? He torments your heart. There was a day I was telling my friend that you don't know what you have. Do you know what it is to be praying? And in the midst of your prayer, you are remembering sex. Do you think it's a joke? So I'm doing twice the battle you are facing. So when you see me tell people I have boundaries, it's not because I don't want to hug a guy. It's because I have a heart to protect. When the Bible says guard your heart with all due diligence, he wasn't joking. God is an action word. So God is not going to come down from heaven to guard your heart for you. And I'll go back to the place of virgins too. It would not be, as much as prayer work, I always tell people, because I have virgins come to me to ask for how I've done it. And I will tell them, a man without boundaries is a man without standards. Your standards are only upheld with the boundaries and structure you set for it. So the devil will not be to be, you can't blame the devil for a lifestyle you chose not to have for yourself. God has given us words, his scripture. Do you think the word of God are just for us to just read and be okay? No. There are systems, there are lifeguard. Whenever you go to swim, they will tell you different things that are set up. There's your lifeboat system. They will tell you press this thing when you are drowning. Why do you think they put them there? So you can get help when you need it. So if you're a virgin and you find yourself drowning, ask yourself, do I have boundaries? You keep talking to a guy. I always say it, I have downtime and I have uptime. So once it's 10 p.m., why are you calling me? To discuss words. I'm not holding your destiny. So why are you calling me over and over? And then you call me, you don't have anything tangible to say. What are you wearing? Why do you care to know what I'm wearing?
No, snap your picture.
Do you understand? So these are the places the devil, see, I'll keep saying it, the devil is not that powerful.
We give him the power.
That he comes to your life and just start tempting you. It's not that. The devil only comes when there's a crack opening. So the biggest thing God has given to you is the word to stand. He said, let the word of God stand guard over your heart. When the devil comes and he sees that there's a garrison in your heart, he can't penetrate. I've tried. It is a proven, tested, and trusted policy. And that's why I tell people, whenever you see me in the midst of a guy setting, you almost feel like I can't relate with them. Not because I can't, but because God has so helped me with structures that there's nothing you can do that can appeal to me. So I will tell you this over and over, boundaries. And boundaries is not a one-size-fits-all thing. So ladies, know thyself. Even as a virgin, there's a lady, a friend of mine, she's a virgin, she's 23, and she always tells me, Kishi, whenever I'm on, my hormones are just overhyped. And I told her, that is you. So you must create boundaries in relation to that. So when you are on, watch the movies you watch. Watch the book you read. Watch the music you listen to. Watch the conversation you have. And please, accountability partner is not overrated.
Very important.
I always tell my friend, if I can't be accountable to you in this area, then I can't be accountable to my finance. Why are you interested in my finance if you're not interested in my purity? Why? So please, that's why I always say you are not meant to do life alone as a believer.
I want to say something because we didn't talk about it. Okay, two things. One, we had a guest a few weeks ago, Dr. Jake, and he said something that I need to tell those who are not virgins. Once you make up your mind that you want to get your virginity back, your sexual purity back, immediately you are a virgin again. You might not have it physically, but immediately in the sight of God, you are a virgin again. So keep that in mind, it's very important. And
if anyone is in Christ, is a new
creation. The new creation is very, very important. Then two, how to manage sexual urges. For me, this is what worked. I think quickly everybody should share their experiences. For me, this is what works. The moment I have those urges, what I do is I distract myself. I look for a movie, I look for a book, I look for Instagram, just something that takes my mind off. And what I've noticed, particularly for me about sexual urges, it doesn't stay for long. If it too last 1 hour, I go come out. So immediately you have those things. Remove your mind from what can draw you to sex and put your mind on things that can draw you out of sex. So I would love everybody to share their experiences quickly.
Okay, so for me, I would say this over and over. Boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, it will keep happening over and over. So this is it. It's not a doctrine, but I'm just going to tell you how I deal with this edge zone. I don't read romance book. I don't watch particular movies. I don't listen to particular song. So it's not about sin. It's just what I do to help me so far.
For me, I try as much as possible to be with people. Yes, that helps me a lot. And then what I see, because I notice that affects me a lot. So watch what you see, what you watch, what you listen to, what you read. That can really, really go a long way.
Galatians chapter 5, I think verse 15, 16 says that you should, if you walk in the flesh, you fulfill the lust of the flesh. So you should walk in the spirit. So when you start feeling that way, it's normal. You can divert that attention to spiritual things. Yes, it has a way of clearing that urge from you. So that's what I do. You can pray in tongues. You can pray in understanding. It will help you to
take prayer walks.
Or take prayer walks.
The Bible says, whatsoever things are true, lovely, pure. That has been my scripture. I try as much as possible. That has been my scripture. Meditate on something that is pure, that is true, that is lovely, that is just. I'm intentional about it. I'm intentional about it. So when it comes, I get busy. I get busy intentionally, and before you know.
Well, exactly what I wanted to say. She just said that scripture, whatsoever things, and like what Kishi said, our Nigerian movies now, they are so I'm telling you. So immediately they want to show something nude, you can stop watching it, because if you say to not do anything and you watch it, trust me, it will keep replaying in your head. It will keep replaying that scene, and that's how you want to watch and explore. So truly, watch what you watch.
Okay, basically, what we see, what we hear, what we feel are those things that come as a seed in our heart, and if you don't prune it, it begins to grow, and it grows and grows, and it outgrow you. Thank you. And basically, you need the Holy Spirit to help you. When something, you just have to have an intimate relationship with God. That even when it comes, it becomes like, it's okay. That is your physiological distance. So it's nothing, it's not a big deal. So it's just like normal distance. So at the end of the day, be disciplined enough, understand your timing. As a woman, there's a point in your life, this thing is high, know what to do, and be disciplined enough. Whatever you do for 21 days becomes your habit. So make sure you know what around you.
All right, okay. The last thing I'd like to say before we round up is that as a woman, or as a girl, or as a... I should stop. Finish. Okay, as a lady, just like in the Bible, you have your own alabaster box. Yes, you have your own ointment that Jesus is waiting for you to lavish in his presence. He's waiting for you to use for him. So discover it. Anything unique about you is what God has given to you specifically to use to promote his kingdom. So thank you.
It is all fun, guys. So much. We came here to... What? Ice cream for
give me small bread. Give me small
Well
bread.
enough, this is how you
Use chopstick.
Okay, one bread. You take one spoon, one bread. Valentine did a good job.
Now half bread will give you.
You did a powerful job, Valentine.
Is this weird? No, that's how I eat my salad.
One spoon, one
I
bread.
used to eat it a lot, but
Okay, no, sorry, one spoon,
that
one bread.
gives almost too much. That gives
These are not business woman.
No, I'm not going to give you half.
Sorry, salt. Put your mouth inside fan. Sorry. Wait, everybody I think is putting bread though, and business.
Oh,
if you take, you give me
oh,
bread.
that was awesome.
That is
You just didn't have it.
No,
Have you put me
I'm
And you will not get to us. That's my Yoga. God bless you. Yes, now. Where's your own? You know the shop. Don't trust. I beg, give me
one bread.
how many slices?
I think I chop like 4 today. But I think business
How many slices?
Fine, they cook. You don't mean sweet though. Please, where's my half bread? No rose. No chop my dough. All that's we chop my bread.
I think you were wrong. Take.
Let us share it together.
You just want to have bread now.
Where's my call?
When I bring bread, I think you chop this something now. I'll go now. I'll take out my phone.
Got to know. How you doing today? It's very clear. Awesome.
I'm about to say English.
Yes, 10 minutes, right?
If not, my bread. You need some my bread.
Pastor, can we pay you now?
Hey, I think I come and see what you gave me as 3.
No, not pay me advance. I prefer now. I want gas and carry, I don't want share. Half. Thank you. If not, pay your own.
So if now you give me bread, truly.
I don't know.
So what's the problem?
Gigi, don't follow me joke. See your business, one for business. When I say we talk, I do we go pay bread.
You put your bread here, don't put it out.
I can't even realize that I have called this place. No, cut this place.
No, now she
I
take
can't allow
it.
him. I can't allow him to use his own discretion before he can go do.
We have 5 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay with the big car. It's okay with the big car. Amalia, I decided. Eh? Sure say you're.
I'll bring it to you. I'm
I know you cannot talk when it's.
So let's try to wait for you and the ice cream. They say we plan, we chop this and finish, come out, we don't talk. I said they fear view a bit slow. As they come out, some enjoy the people. But see now, I feel it and I enjoy. Because it's like make ice cream.
What are you doing?
So Kishi, you did me for 1 night, intentionally, no problem.
Exactly. Consider a blessing. Kish, Ojunjão. Eh? At least for just 3 days, so I cook my mommy. I want to follow Jacob and Tayo. I don't really want to take this serious. On the normal day. This is for the love we share in this house. Wow. All the talk, I don't know. Oh, God, Even the other goes like,
Daddy sing that song every day.
yeah? I know, but what's up?
Daddy sing that song every day.
Ma? Hey! Hello, please respect yourself. And you are sorry. Roasting. On the normal day, I don't supposed to be on the stage. Please, I don't want one now. But then, what can I do? Who am I? Àjíkẹ́, ìwọ, ìfẹ́ tiẹ̀ kò dé tó ń jẹ rárá. So you understand that part? Lẹ́yìn àtọ̀lá tọ́jú ẹ̀ but àwọn ìbọ̀tún wa náà wú ẹ̀ èmi sọ̀la o pàmò kò dé yàn but títí ọ̀tún la nà pẹ̀ dán. So ìlú èdè àtọ̀lá ìdìbò bá wẹ̀ kó àtọ̀lá wẹ̀ kó já nínú lẹ́yìn mo wà lẹ́yìn yẹn. Má I take your back.
Wọ́n ti lé mi lọ lé àbí.
No, gbàgbé kò sí mo ní mo wà lẹ́yìn yẹn.
Dubai is known to be one of the urban miracles of the modern world. A futuristic city rising in the middle of a desert is something our ancestors 100 years ago could only imagine. It's hard to imagine that this fascinating location used to be just a tiny fishing village. It seems almost illogical that a small town in a very inconvenient climate zone could become one of the world's biggest business and financial hubs. How did this happen? To answer this question, let's have a look at the history of Dubai. Right in the middle. Of the modern world.
What the talent city should look like and how it can benefit Nigeria. So shortly the media team, they'll be playing the documentary. Please let's watch and get the information. Thank you.
Dubai is known to be one of the urban miracles of the modern world. A futuristic city rising in the middle of a desert is something our ancestors 100 years ago could only imagine in a sci-fi film. It's hard to imagine that this fascinating location used to be just a tiny fishing village. It seems almost illogical that a small town in a very inconvenient climate zone could become one of the world's biggest business and financial hubs. How did this happen? To answer this question, let's have a look at the history of Dubai. Located at the Persian Gulf, right in the middle of the Eurasian continent, Dubai was destined to be a crossing point between East and West. At the same time, the climate here is almost inhumane. The temperature in summer reaches 50 degrees Celsius, and that is the reason why for centuries the urban development here was quite slow. The Persian Gulf, however, was still an important area for the British Empire. Being a strategic route connecting London to Bombay, Royal Fleet needed to secure this area from pirates. In the 19th century, the British East India Company signed an agreement with local sheikhs, particularly with the Al Maktoum family, the ruling dynasty of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, to secure peace in the area. Al Maktoum dynasty rules Dubai until the present day. Despite these agreements, the British Empire never really tried to develop the area. While the Crown was heavily investing in developing Bombay, the southern capital of the empire, by building infrastructures, railway, and a university. there was hardly any interest in developing Dubai as a city. For the British Empire, Dubai was just a junior partner, a crossing point for the royal fleet, nothing more. Despite the lack of interest from the empire, Dubai was becoming more and more significant for the region. In 1900, the current ruler announced that no taxes would be charged from the traders, and soon Persian and Indian merchants started moving in. The city was convenient for trading also thanks to Dubai Creek, a saltwater canal that was allowing trading ships to sail from the Gulf right into the city. Shortly, Dubai became the biggest trading hub on the Persian Gulf. In the early 20th century, the city also became a big center of pearl diving, which attracted even more merchants every year. The pearl industry became so big that soon it was forming 95% of the Persian Gulf economy. Dubai, however, was still a big village rather than a city. The urban development started with the reign of Sheikh Rashid. In 1959, he went touring around Europe and was greatly inspired by European capitals, particularly London. Walking around the city and traveling on the tube, he was fascinated by the urban design, transport system, and overall comfort and convenience that London had to offer. After his trip, Sheikh Rashid started implementing his great plan of turning Dubai into an international city. In 1961, he instructed to artificially deepen the Dubai Creek so that bigger trading ships could sail in. Under his guidance, the city was being rebuilt with stone and cement. Having a dream of a great city in his mind, Sheikh Rashid started building an international airport, although his investors thought he is being too romantic, and these urban projects are simply unnecessary, and it was becoming challenging to fund all these ambitious projects. Sheikh Rashid's plans of creating an international capital would probably stall at this stage, but in 1966 they found oil in Dubai. Despite the common belief that Dubai became the city that it is today mainly thanks to oil, the oil reserves found in 1966 were quite modest by Middle Eastern standards. For reference, neighboring Abu Dhabi had 10 times more oil than Dubai. However, the limited resource was a blessing for the city. Instead of considering oil as a limitless source of wealth, Sheikh Rashid started investing the generated profit in urban development. His vision was to build a city that wouldn't depend on oil money. He was inviting the most talented architects, engineers, and entrepreneurs to Dubai. Since Sheikh Rashid's biggest inspiration was London, he hired a team of British experts who were consulting him on further steps. One of Sheikh Rashid's main goals was to make Dubai attractive for all nationalities. Despite being a Muslim city, he made sure people of other religions and beliefs could feel comfortable living there. Like most of the other newly developing cities, Dubai needed a grand project that could attract international attention, so Sheikh Rashid instructed to build a skyscraper. In 1979, the 39-story building named Dubai World Trade Center was officially open for business. Being an unprecedented urban project for Dubai, it was insignificant for the world, where 100-story buildings already existed. In fact, international media was ridiculing the city's grand investments, but Sheikh Rashid was convinced that Dubai will soon be taken seriously by the international community. Unfortunately, he never saw the city reach its full glory, tragically dying in 1981 at a relatively young age, but he managed to lay the foundation of a city that he had envisioned. After Sheikh Rashid died in 1981, his work was continued by one of his sons, 31-year-old Mohammed. Just like his father, he was obsessed with the idea of turning Dubai into a modern, international city. His main inspiration was Daniel Burnham, an American architect and urban designer that is known for planning and designing modern Chicago in the early 20th century. Daniel Burnham was convinced that a city architect has to plan big. If you want your city to be spoken about, small and mediocre projects won't get you anywhere. Sheikh Mohammed adopted this approach and decided to make Dubai a city of the biggest and the tallest. In 2000, he introduced Emirates Towers, which were higher than any building in Europe at the time. But that wasn't big enough for Dubai. Sheikh Mohammed wanted to build the tallest building in the world. In 2010, they completed the construction of Burj Khalifa, the highest skyscraper in the world. Being a very hands-on manager himself, Sheikh Mohammed was spending most of his time on construction sites. He was circling the city in his white Mercedes, which registration plate said Dubai 1. This plate was reflecting his overall philosophy and life mission. For Daniel Burnham, railway was the key asset of building a new great city like Chicago. For Sheikh Mohammed, that key asset was aviation. In 1974, he was already curating the construction of Dubai International Airport. In 1980, he employed Sir Maurice Flanagan of British Airways to build Emirates, the new international airlines of Dubai. Soon Emirates was flying to most of the biggest international airports, becoming a gateway to Dubai for thousands of tourists, entrepreneurs, and investors who were curious to visit the new marvel of the Middle East. In 2002, Sheikh Mohammed allowed foreigners to own land in Dubai, which quickly turned the city into one of the biggest real estate markets. Billionaires around the world jumped on this new opportunity of owning property in a city free of taxes and restrictions. Dubai became a gigantic construction site. Every architect firm, big or small, was rushing to Dubai, bringing as many architects and engineers as they physically could. It was a construction gold rush in the middle of a desert. The biggest architects from around the world brought their most ambitious projects to Dubai. Sheikh Mohammed had another ambitious project in mind. He wanted to turn Dubai into a world financial center, competing with major financial capitals like New York and London. Soon, Dubai International Financial Center was created. It's a special economic zone covering 110 hectares with its laws and regulations. It was basically a separate state within a city, like the Vatican in Rome. The hub shortly became home to the giants of the international banking system, including Citibank, HSBC, and Standard Chartered. Dubai was growing rapidly. Soon, 95% of the population were foreigners from around the world. This, of course, had a great impact on the local culture. A new, truly international city was born, which was a unique phenomenon in the world. Many capitals around the world claim to be international and multinational cities, but the reality is that there is always a dominating local culture or culture of the majority. For example, London, which served as an inspiration for Sheikh Rashid when he started developing Dubai, although being a diverse city and home to numerous ethnicities and cultures, is still a British city. Dubai, however, became a cultural no-man's land of a sort. Everyone here is a guest, so everyone can feel at home. Local citizens are only 3 to 5% of the population. This aspect of the city earned a lot of criticism as well. For example, the Washington Post once stated that Dubai, in its attempt to be a successful Arabic city, had to sacrifice all its Arabic features. Another negative aspect of this rapid development became the fact that the United Arab Emirates became the only country that spends more energy than the USA. Despite all this, Dubai is an urban phenomenon that serves as an inspiration for many other developing cities around the world today. Let us know in the comments if you have ever been to Dubai and what you like or dislike about the city. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos on our channel about history, architecture, and urban design of Dubai, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
All right. Okay, guys. We have seen the documentary and we have been told about the Talent City. The aim of the Talent City, in fact, the sponsors of this project are watching now. So the aim of this Talent City is to build a city that will both serve as a residence and a workplace, a market for talents in Nigeria. From what we have watched, we can attest to the fact that that documentary says it all, which makes Dubai both a residence and a marketplace where everybody wants to be. So this is the vision. I believe this is the vision that the sponsors have for this Talent City. So I would want the secretary and the assistant secretary of the Talent Driven Economy Committee to be ready to write now. Because every contribution must be jotted down. Every conversation must be jotted down so that we can present our conclusion or our ideas to the sponsors after this meeting. If the secretary and the vice secretary is ready, let them signal me before we commence with the conversation. We commence the conversation. Are we ready? Alright, guys. Talent City.
what should it look like, and how can it benefit Nigeria? Let's begin.
Okay. Are we to also factor in the architectural map out, layout, and all of that, or we should just focus on the economical structure?
If you have an idea of what the architectural look should be, you can spell it out, but if you don't, you can concentrate on the economy aspect of it.
I believe we don't have the resources for the architectural.
Okay. So let's narrow it down to the economic benefits. One major word I got from that documentary, which I jotted down, is tax-free. If you want your city to be a word class or be spoken about, you must not concentrate on small and mediocre projects.
Yes,
that's one. And then you reach out to expertise who have done it before and seek for them. In fact, he had to use people who had done urban planning before for his own mega city. Yeah. He had a prototype.
Yeah, he had a prototype. He had cities that he was looking to.
Like he was mirroring his.
Drew inspiration from he was thinking bigger than that. Yes. As much as he was drawing an inspiration from him, he was thinking of it. That's why the kind of structures you find in Dubai is not anywhere in the world.
I also learned on shared vision. I was able to share his vision with his son. He was also able to run with it, even when he was no more.
Yeah.
Some people have died with their vision.
Yeah.
They don't want to share. Death is inevitable.
I would like to ask, are we planning on making Nigeria a talent city? Or we are making it a city in Nigeria? Exactly.
We are making it
because I'm asking because the documentary what changed Nigeria. So are we planning on, okay, this project is changing the whole of Nigeria, or we are looking at the city,
like a trade center or
exactly.
something.
And if we are going that route, are we going to make it every state has their own talent city? Because we have
No, it will be a place developed on its own.
Yes, a place.
Just a place in Nigeria mapped out as a city.
If that is the case now, where I think that's the first thing, location.
These are things we should know before we even.
That's what you should start with. The proposed location, where do we want it to be? So there's a focus on what's
commercial. That information is going to
I'm looking at the way this is now. If it's going to be a trade center, like using America as an example, you check the most populated area. For example, America owns Silicon Valley, New York, Chicago, those two places. So if we do that, I think we need to be considering Abuja and Lagos first. Those are our top places that also have the
major commercial areas.
I remember now that Lagos is actually doing something like this.
Exactly.
My dad, when he was in tenure, even their chairman in local government were involved. They were building a city, Lagos something city, on water.
Yeah, it's so
Lagos is actually already working on it.
It's a trade, it's a free trade zone. It's a free trade zone. Located at Ibejuleki in Lagos. It's a free trade zone that carries the Lagos seaport, a seaport, an airport, and the Dangote refinery. It's located in Ibejuleki. It's currently being developed. The refinery is almost halfway through.
No, it's not. That's different. It's different from But we can say something like that. A city like that. This time around,
That's residential place. Yes. A finance map.
It's a city on its own.
That one actually was America who made the proposal to the coastal area. So using the sea and also reasons. infrastructure developments, city developments in Lagos.
Can I say
Besides,
something?
besides this, the nature of this one is different from the other.
Even for international recognition sake.
Do you know that the proposed Equatlantic city is actually being built on water because there's no land?
That's it. There's no space.
And even this Equatlantic city, even this one, they're already considering the
But that doesn't mean people will not come to Abuja.
I'm not thinking that they are doing this Equatlantic city.
There's another city being developed in
They
Abuja
are
currently.
making it a
It's called Centenary City.
can't go
It's located by the airport road. It's massive. It's way massive than even most of these things that we've seen. And it has been,
But that grade has not been used.
the Centenary City has been in a proposal for more than
Lagos and Abuja, we are already developing.
Ibadan is there. Why don't
But
you
if we push it to
consider
a
that?
neighboring state beside Lagos, for example, we still get that.
the idea is it's waiting. Neighboring states and commercials.
Commercial states.
Let's listen up. The location has been chosen already. So, and it's going to be in Abuja. Close to Abuja University.
Okay.
Yes.
Gwagwalada or Pisai?
I think it's Gwagwalada. So, and the aim or the vision is to have an international market for talent. An international market for talent. So, it is within this circumference that our discussion will be based on. So how do we develop an international market for talent? What should be the structure? And perhaps what should be the modus operandi? Okay, Kishi.
So when you talk about talent now, we are talking about every industry. So it's cutting across every sphere of
Film,
influence.
music,
Yes.
art and culture.
So basically, I think we can't literally be considering this prototype anyway. So there is something Amelia was saying to me before we came inside, which was our own idea when you talk about trade center. Look at New York, they have Silicon Valley. And if you check Silicon Valley, it's majorly something like this. Almost every careers are in Silicon Valley. And you also give access to, I don't know how to explain this, it gives people that are looking for job opportunities. That's the first way to consider in the career field. So I would say instead of considering just a space, can we begin to think about the kind of structure we want to first build there?
That's what's
Okay, that's what you said. So the structure should first be our concern. We then start saying, do we want to segment them, like this place for this place for that? That would be Silicon Valley and all of that. So it's segmented.
The method of operation,
Mhm.
how it's
Would it be run? All of these things.
For us to get that done, first thing first we need to do is to outline what are the talents that we are thinking of having the sectors. First thing first. Then before we can talk about the structures, let's be sure that okay, we know say this is okay, music or harvesting, and then bear in mind that the talents are different. Right? So we have various in sports now we can have more than 10 in sports only. We're talking about everything that has to do with talent, entertainment, and the likes. So we have to, get this things first and begin to, we can say, okay, this hub belongs to, or exactly, this hub belongs with, depending on what they do, that's set for them.
Also, we consider the letter of land. So
No,
you see there's
exactly.
residents and this.
I want to start with music now. We'll go to, there's already a body governing music generally in Nigeria. So we're going to partner. So when we discuss with them, if there is a way they can bring in their, their culture in Nigeria, then bring them into.
When we were during our deliberation that day, we discovered that there are some talents that should be under discuss ICT. And we were talking about the fact that something like financial intelligence, digital marketing should be under ICT. And also, just like what he said, he mentioned sport. When you come to sport now, you have football, you have volleyball, you have table tennis, you have all manner of sport. So you have a faculty, you have a department under a faculty. Just like we can have a faculty of sport. We are not using the word faculty. We can come up with a department of football under the faculty of sports. In ICT, we have digital marketing, graphic design, and what have you. And then in film, we can just say film. In film, we'll have cinematography, acting, photo.
Film can be under entertainment. Entertainment. You can have entertainment in entertainment.
It can be very large. Its entertainment is large.
To narrow it down.
Yes, to be very large.
Production, all of those things. But the only difference is that instead of them making it look like it's a faculty, all of these things, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. All of these are offices. Do you understand? So it has a joining center, where they call their reception and all of that. So everybody has access to every places, but it's still one building. So considering, because if you talk about university structure, I don't know about other schools, but my own school is different, scattered about. Do you understand?
That's how it's
That's
why this one has to be scattered because
that's what I'm trying to ask you.
You should move from this point to the other.
You should need vehicles to move.
Exactly.
It's more like a for instance.
Remember, people will still live there.
The idea is we should make access, as in we should make people get access to these things with ease. For instance, if you go to Lagos International Trade Fair Center, anybody that knows there, if you want to buy anything, you have a particular place you will go. If you want to buy stuff for baking, you have a section for baking. If you want to buy accessories, makeup, they have. So if you just get to the gate, tell them what you want, they will direct you. So you don't just go and randomly start looking for where to buy. They have section for that, and that is the idea we have, so that anybody that comes into that market will know definitely where I'm going to. I'm going for this, and this is where I can locate this particular place. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
If that be the case, I think what we have to do now is, like someone said earlier, we have to make a list of all of the talents we're considering. Probably all of the talents that even exist, and even more beyond.
Yeah, start looking for.
When we make a list of all of these talents, it gives us introspective, it gives us an idea of what we're aiming at. That's first things first. I don't think we should be considering the land and all of that, because we've not been given that information now. So when we make that list, then next thing we should be thinking about the designer, the architect, the people to structure. And one thing this video was able to show us is to think big and to also think global. Act local, think global. So we should be thinking, we should make a list to narrow down international, reputable designers, share the idea with them. They have to give us a template, a demo. They bring up a structure. They bring up a design, a prototype. So it is from this prototype that we can get the vision of what we can narrow down. Okay, this works, this doesn't work. That is, share the idea with them, get the designer, an international standard. The video said if you want people to take you seriously, you don't have to think little, you have to think mega. So we are thinking big, we're thinking designing something that has not been seen, that is not common. So that's on that. So in these designs, things that will be included will be a trade fair center, a talent trade fair center. That's for the market, because it's a market. There has to be occasions where people come, okay, when you're looking for this specific thing, this is where you're going to. It gives people access. Regardless of whatever field you're in, you know that that's a market that you will go to and you will be able to make something of yourself. So there will be central facilities, as a central facility rather. Then, like we also already pointed out, there will be a talent facility for every talent, of course. And there will be also, because now we'll be looking at the foreign aspect of it. So we're also going to have residences. We're going to have residences. We're going to have hotels.
Yeah.
We're going to have recreation.
Hospitality.
Exactly, hospitality and recreation, because people are coming, people are flying down. It's something mega. So we're going to also factor that in. Then one thing I took away from this video, we're going to grant access to foreigners to also own their spaces, to also invest, attract foreign investment. It's a way to develop the place. And we're going to give them, we're not going to limit it to something just local, like, okay, it's just our local talents and all. No, one thing the video was able to point out is the fact that in that very city, the locals are the minority population. It occupies more of the foreign population, and that contributed a great deal to the rapid urbanization of the area. So we're going to grant access to foreigners and foreign investors, and we're also going to have financial centers to process all of these kind of loans and also savings deposits and all of that. We'll have banks as well. We'll have partnerships with international, like I already pointed out. Then also, we're going to design roads, access roads, because it's a city. So that goes back down to the architect. So I think the two major things that we need to work on now is, first of all, okay, these are the talents. Under this talent, this falls under this falls under this. Then, who is designing? Who are we looking at?
Okay.
Just to add to the list of things that we need to do, I think another major thing will be how the city will be powered. Because if we run based on the current way Nigeria runs NEPA power, it will be very bad to the city. So I think that should be also, I don't know if it's by us or by the investors, I'm saying because it's a major thing. If the city needs to be powered constantly, so if they are finding a way to do it, there just has to be a way to power the city separately from our current power situation in Nigeria.
That's going to fall back to the plan of the designer, the architecture.
Then, since you said about foreign investors, that is to say, we also have to put in place strategically for the security, making the environment very secure, silent environment. That's what we're talking about. Because if this place is not, you can't use the normal security platform, which you know, that is always bound to always disappoint us. That is a very major thing. Even if you're a country like average like there is very security conscious, very security conscious. Even that means you can't move from some edge to some edge without being checked properly. Because if foreign investors is going to definitely come, because definitely we must work with foreign investors. That is one of the major things I saw.
And that's a very good point, because sorry, that's a very good point, because currently, let's admit that we have the issue of insecurity, which affects foreign investors. So I think we need to check this to devise a very
and the location again. The proposed location is a troubled state.
Yes. Let's not get carried away with just wanting to design. Let's not get carried away wanting to design, wanting to do world class and all. There's insecurity in the land.
Major key.
So I think we need to look, if we can get this security right, it covers almost everything.
Because there's no way private investors will come from out there, see what is happening there. No matter the interest or the profit you're going to make from it, you're not invested. Because life is first of all much more priority and then that. And that means we must not adapt, we must have to come with probably another kind of security platform or tactics. Because if we use the one we've been adopting, we know we are bound to, you know what tends to happen. And like what you said now, this region is a place filled with something like that. So we have to come up also. Because it's very good to plan the vision, very good to talk about the talents, whatever, but also if security is not put in check, that means to say we might still just be. Because if you watch, they said, local citizens are only about 3.5 of the 3 to 5% of the population in Dubai. Are you seeing it? The remaining 95 points thereabouts are foreign investors, and that is what can only take. Because I have been asking myself for long, how can Dubai just transform like this? So that is the only thing that can make Dubai just reformed. So, but yeah, if there is no security tax, they will see the vision from out there, but people won't come. And if people don't come, the vision will become abated. It will die off. Sure. How can you power this? Just like you're talking about the power sector. How can you power the sector? How can you keep running some things without foreign investors? Because this is trying to make sure, like he said Sir Mary's vision was to open an international community. That means a marketplace for Dubai. So everything we're still putting here is actually not just local, but also global, foreign. So if security, the major focus is not there, I would want to go and invest or do business or profit and business where I know that if I go there, I might be kidnapped, my workers or my staff might be kidnapped, my family might be, even to go reside there.
Your facilities can be vandalized.
Just a few months ago, before we came into the house, there was a riot at a market along Kobo Road. They burned the market. They just stormed the market. A very big market. They just came into the market, entered some people's shops. I don't want to call the people. Entered some people's shops and burned a lot of Easterners. Burned their shops, and most of their shops, an individual shop could be worth over $1 billion.
Yes.
They burned, literally burned it down. And the worst part is this happened for almost 2 days without intervention.
Nothing was done about it. So I think security
in the federal capital territory of the country.
We have to even start from the security before.
Guys, you can stay on this security. I'm telling you.
And it's a serious issue.
Because this is it. I'm sorry to say, it's even helping me question the location.
No, we have to. That's our job. We have to question.
Making me question.
We have to
propose
location. Yes, that's part of our job.
It can affect this entire vision.
But you know, since the body said that a location is already declared.
So we need to strategize security-wise.
Security-wise, because we can't change the
we're not changing it. But we are speaking like this so that the visionary can also think broadly, like we are doing. Do you get it?
So that's a good thing.
Let me add something to the security.
Please, sorry, Custodian, he's still talking. So, please, sir, continue.
Let's wait for some more.
I'm saying this because no vision is, how do I put it? Most visions are in the future, like subject to panel beating. Do you get? You can kickstart a vision here. And when you see that it's not getting viable, and then you think of your plan B, security is going to be a major challenge for this proposed location. And we can stay here and try to fix the security issues, and the location may still haunt us. Do you get it? So I'm not saying we shouldn't attempt it, but it's really big. If we can fix security, then we will freely go to sleep that this project can work in this proposed location. We are not saying other locations are not troubled, but we have more troubled areas in Nigeria today. And this city is one of it. Yeah. So, now, one of the secrets of Dubai that we just watched was foreign investors. And we know that currently today, foreign investors are leaving on the road.
Instead of foreign investment, it's foreign divestment.
Even local investment.
And even local investment, they are taking out. So it's a big problem.
It's a big challenge. I don't think we're going to have much issues in departmentalizing the talents. I don't think we'll have that issue. These guys will not have that issue. Our main issue here will be the security.
So the question, okay.
Next to the security will be power generation.
Power.
These very two aspects will make this city a success.
Okay, let me say something to what you said. Add something to what you said. Like now, we were deliberating on something. I think Abigail started saying about, or somebody said about Lagos, Abuja. And the father called and said Abuja has been taken. Now we are seen as custodians. I don't know if you understand what I mean by being a custodian. So we are seen as custodians that we can be able to uphold that whatever God is using us. Like there's someone that came in and said they told them that we are very we are dangerous or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that they believe we have the ability in us. So number one, I would say, can we a little bit, I'm not saying we are, but can we a little bit now shift our mindset out from the location issue,
the
challenges now, and let's now begin to bring solutions, starting from the foundation. We remember saying the foundation is what I just do, and the foundation here is security. Because honestly speaking, this can be after the whole deliberations and everything has been made. If security is not put on check, it's going to be like 70 or 80% frustration to abate this vision. So we have to start now. What like in the platform now? What can we change? What can we do in bringing? Because and do you know that if also we deliberate and bring out a good proposal on security issue here, and it works, that means to say even other states. We adopt it because everybody's looking for the way. Everybody's looking for a way. You say the neighbor of people therefore they don't know how to enter into the city. So everybody's looking for a way. Just like this. So I believe now it's our job. We shouldn't put too much consign on the fears or challenges. Let us begin to brainstorm for our mind with the help of the Holy Spirit how we can be able to bring another revolution in security using this this city platform market as. So, like I believe, let us now start talking about how we can change the security.
Custodian Steve.
My take on this is security is critical because security is not an individual task. You know, even security is on an exclusive list, or not even states cannot even handle security on their own. We have something called concurrent list, residual list, and exclusive list. Now, my own part of talking about security of the talent city would be that what has kept most of our spiritual environment secured, even in the midst of the old situation. My thought has been like that. And you would observe that all over Nigeria, you have many of our spiritual cities. In fact, there's a major city in Nigeria, one of the fastest growing church all over the world. By the time when the city was being constructed, today it has a 3 by 3 kilometer structure auditorium. By the time the first auditorium was built, it was a den of kidnappers and armed robbers. Yeah. Now, fine, like he said, it's a future, it's been envisaged. It will still be that, we must be mindful in this nation because we have advanced as a nation. So many persons are rising with their own thoughts. When people begin to say that something big is coming, I wouldn't know. People will begin to orchestrate all sorts of plans and things to scuttle the process. And they could just bring up people to spoil it. Even the whole UN headquarters was destroyed, was bombed in 2010 in this same city. So that's why even before we started talking on the mentalization and all of that, I just took very, but I'm looking at it that, see, whether spiritual security or whatever, but I'm looking at the possibility in the sense that most of our spiritual cities and environments have been secured all the while. So let's still look at the possibility, knowing well that, okay, even though we set up to do something, God will help us watch the city.
Except the Lord build the house.
Except the Lord build. Except
the builder build.
No, are you done? Steve, are you done?
Yeah, because you know why I'm saying so? I'm saying so because there is no security structure you want to say. There is no security outfit you want to put out to protect the city. That will not need the veto of the powers that be. It's on the exclusive list. We all know that a security outfit in one particular region, we all saw the whole fisticuff. All the other altercation that came up when they started, some people started raising eyebrows, they can't stand, the Constitution does not permit this and whatever. The Constitution itself. So fine, highest you can have is just a paramilitary organization, but the truth is, can they actually curtail the operations of some?
Can we outsource this security?
Exactly. That's what I'm coming in. You can't just say
that's part of the Constitution conspiracy.
That's where you understand how you were talking about the concurrent
He said, he got to a point, he said, can't we call our foreigners to come and, in Kaduna State, he said, can't we call our machinery to come and handle these people? And there's nothing he can do.
Okay, so before you mention that, I'm thinking about it. So like, the problem is, even if you have this perfect plan of not even bring it in. Starting your own security measure or whatever in Nigeria, it still needs to get an approval, especially from the president. All right. So now, what I feel is, it still takes us back to the structure of this country's system of governance. When you hear like the United Nations thing you talk about, it's not by mistake. These things are not by chance. They have politicalized all those things. So one thing I feel is, if there is a way these people at the top can buy this idea completely, though we all know that there has to be something coming to them. That's how they do their own thing, correct? If they can buy into it completely, we categorically tell you that security is so. Why is it that we've not heard anything about Aso Rock before in this country?
They entered Aso Rock. They entered Aso Rock. When? They entered Aso Rock. They entered last year. Wow. They robbed in Aso Rock.
They robbed in Aso Rock, or they robbed, because the way me I know Aso Rock. It is not possible. I don't have vicinity. Not even vicinity. I don't know what environment. I don't know how. I'm not familiar with it.
Wait, have you been to Aso Rock before? Do you know Aso Rock is like a town, it's like a city?
Exactly.
In Aso Rock, there is the presidential villa. It's different, but Aso Rock is like an estate on its own. No, they robbed in Aso Rock, not within its environs. They entered and robbed. Let's not do this on national TV.
I don't know how true that is.
Not something whether you know it's true or not.
Once they are getting close to this Aso Rock environment, even you yourself, you will know, okay, this is, I'm getting somewhere. Like mobilization. Do you understand? Not just checkpoints, but you would know, you will see every. I got to know we have snipers in Nigeria. Somebody that was Aso Rock. I was surprised. I was surprised when the person told me that we actually have snipers situated in strategic locations in Aso Rock. That is because we have prioritized security. Do you understand? So if that kind of priority can be put to this as well, we have everything we need, but they will deliberately just not want to do it.
But
considering those options, it looks like we don't have.
It still takes us back to the politicizing of this particular moment. Aso Rock, with all its security, was breached and robbed. Questions were raised. It was discussed on political platform, on air, how that was even possible, which takes us back to the political aspect of things. So we can't trivialize
security. I mean, the strongest arm of our military was our military base was the strongest.
They are kidnapping ministers, kidnapping political officers.
Sorry, let's not go too deep into it.
All right. Let's listen up. Please, let's not forget that we are discussing on the benefits of this city. And I believe the aim for us to discuss the benefits, just like what you said, is to sell it to the powers that be, so that they can buy into it and see the economic benefits. And then when they see it, security, power, and all that we are talking about can be taken care of. If we can tell them this is what the economy of the nation stands to gain from this city, and it is truly what it is from their perspective, the way they see it, they will fix these issues. So I just think we should concentrate on how do we, just like what he mentioned before, let's list these stuffs, these talents. Let's do it structurally, how it should go, and list the benefits. We are looking at the film industry, we are looking at the art and culture, we are looking at music, we are looking at ICT. What will be the benefit of the Nigerian economy if these things are being in place? How can foreign investors come in? Okay, we have mentioned the fact that foreign investors cannot come in without if security doesn't come. But if they see from that place that this can actually bring much revenue, they can actually tackle that security issue in that city so that foreign investors can also come in. And some of the foreign investors that we might bring in might not be as should I use the word flamboyantly, financially buoyant as the ones they can bring. Like when this is a national project now, the ones that can come in because it's a national project will not be the one that will come in because it's an individual or a particular person's project. Are we understanding what I'm saying? So let's look at it from this perspective and, you know, form our discourse from this. Can we?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, Custodian Blessing. I don't know if what you wanted to say.
Okay, I wanted to bring to our consciousness that this talent city will not be possible if we cannot fix our government. So as we're discussing this, because this is a vision that will start maybe from next year or before this year runs out. So let's have it at the back of our mind that we must fix our government come next year so that this thing will be a reality. If the government is not fixed, whether you take this, you put the location in Abuja or Port Harcourt, you cannot just secure only Abuja and the other parts of the states are trouble. Foreign investors will come.
Because when they come, they are not flying
from
their states straight to the talent city.
They'll come through the airport.
Yeah, exactly.
So, sorry, we're very cold. Is anyone cold?
Yes.
Please, can we include?
So let's put our government. Let's put our government in view, and thank God 2023 is coming very close. Let's try our best. So yes, let's have this 2023 in our mind so that we try our best to bring in the right person to get the right results.
Okay.
Are we focusing on security? Are we mapping?
Let's leave security for now.
I think security is beyond us.
Let's leave it for now.
Let's focus on the structure. What we can influence, what we can control, what we can suggest. Let's not channel our energies into what we cannot control.
I think everything is listed now.
Yes.
Can we?
Let's go straight to the departmentalization of the
Can we make a list of all the talents we are talking about?
All the talent
sectors.
All the major sectors.
Because if we are to
Okay.
Film, entertainment.
Film. Let's do film, music,
Sports.
ICT.
Arts and crafts.
Art, culture, and craft. It can.
Do you know why art and craft?
Art and craft can go, but you don't put culture to them. Culture should stand
Culture
on
is
Art and craft.
You know what craftsmanship means?
If we want art to be cultural, when we write,
Okay, let's do culture and tourism.
Culture and tourism goes together.
when we use art, for instance, now, then we make sub-departments under it, like art, like crafting, sculpting.
Yeah, that's under art and crafts.
I know, are we drafting it?
Yes, we will. We just want to list, like, from what we have said, the one that will form what looks like a faculty. That's what we want to. Yes. Then one. We'll take it one and list what and what can be under it. All right, please let's continue. We have film, we have music, we have sport, ICT, arts and craft, culture and tourism.
The creative industry, creatives.
No, it's not art. It's not art. So poetry, writing, public speaking, the rest of them.
Creatives. What do you think creative is? When you say art is not under creatives.
If you say creative, you're already making it broader, so art will still come under
If it's
creative.
only trying to just sub them together. It's not saying diversify.
I think creative is a big word that encompasses all. So let's not use the word creative because even art will come under creative.
Let's also still go under creative.
So let's leave creative. We can just use poetry, something now. Poetry covers writing, creative writing.
Poetry is art now.
Or it goes under art. If poetry goes under art, then music will go under art, drama will go under art, theatre will go under art.
Music is art.
Have we not frustrated this process by just... No, it's true.
Music is a form of
Let's not...
I think the art here has been
defined already.
The art here in context is the art of designing.
Sculpturing and this type of paintings and all.
The creative you are doing includes the creativity that aligns with your writing. That comes from an intuition and instinct. Writing, speaking, basically.
Content creators and the rest of them.
And instead, just say creative writing the way they wrote it in our.
Okay, we can narrow it down. We can say creative art, performing art.
Yeah, creative and
They are
performing
different.
art.
Creative art, performing art.
The music will come under performing art.
Exactly. Music, drama, poetry, all of that under performing. And creative, sculpting, painting, all of that can come under creative.
You know, we are not listening. We are not. We are just listening out.
Okay, like fine. You put art and craft. Like art and craft. Now, once you put art and craft, it already explains what is supposed to be there.
Let's just separate it. He has written art and craft. He has written culture and tourism. You can write creative writing. Writing is a different thing too on its own. You can stand on its own. Anything that has to do with writing under that.
I think she has a point. I think writing can stand on its own because under writing you have journalism, you have creative writing, content writing, copywriting,
storytelling.
So I think writing can stand on its own.
Writing or creative writing.
Creative writing is still okay. Even if you say creative writing, they are still it's still the same thing we're talking about. Like we're talking about copywriting, content writing.
Me, I'm saying should we just write it as writing or creative writing?
I think writing because being an author is also writing, authoring a book like
journalism is under writing.
Yes. So let's just leave it. If you put creative writing, if you put creative writing, it's still narrowing it down. But writing talks about every form of writing under it. So writing can stand on its own. Art and craft, let it stand on its own. Entertainment, let it stand on its own.
Entertainment, I've already lived that field.
This one subject.
You don't want entertainment.
Let's distinguish the industry.
Cover many things.
This is what we start with. Distinguish the industries. Then when we distinguish the industries and we list them, then under the industries, we begin to write, okay, under this industry we have this, and this. Under this industry we have this, and this. Under this industry we have this, and this, and this.
That's what we are doing. That's what we are doing. We are distinguishing them. We are not listing all the talents.
Missing the talent, missing and
yes, because you are mixing.
This is industry. So
We are
is there an industry
distinguishing
called
them.
writing?
That's why I said it's creative.
At least we have the film industry, we have the music industry, we have the sport industry, we have the ICT industry, we have culture and tourism industry. So that's what we are doing. So we are looking at those ones that have can have a sub under.
Even this architectural thing you're talking about.
Can come under engineering.
Yes, engineering.
Yes.
I think we should focus more on more creative talents than technical talents, because we already have institutions that teach that. Like you mentioned, engineering now. I don't think engineering is like a talent. I think it's a technical talent. So we can't have engineering, we can't have medicine, we can't have law, we can't have things like that. Let's just be creative talents like fashion designing, music, writing. These are talents that people are gifted in and could be harnessed without actually going to school.
I think we should have engineering because just like we already said and we watched in that video, we are thinking big. So if we don't have an aspect for engineering, how do we prompt our people to start creating things?
Engineering
you
is
just
not
stop at
listen, talent international markets.
Let's leave engineering because there are some mechanics in the road that can fall under engineering.
Why was even built by their government?
Those ones now, they didn't go to school to learn it.
Exactly.
Some of them learned from their fathers. It was like more like a No. I'm saying engineering can be a talent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Electrical engineering.
No, actually, if you ask me,
it is.
If
It
you
can.
ask me, I would say it is coming from the innovative aspect.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We've had some things we are using that somebody made it. Now, the innovative aspect comes in when it is a talent. Somebody will sit and, okay, what if we make a thing that can do this and do this?
The talent city, the whole idea too is to also
Sir,
challenge
might not be an
our
engineer
talents.
Let's not forget,
We want to look at
talent city. It is a talent. It is large. It's a city, more like a state. It is let everybody come.
We are looking at a place where foreign investors will come and pick up guys. For instance, I made reference to a guy that made a moving machine.
There are many of them. Do you know
a grinding machine?
have come to pick up these small boys? You see a guy.
If we have a department there, foreign investor will come and pick this guy, take these guys up.
Coming from the fashion line, some people don't necessarily sew. All they do is
God
sketch out,
bless
give it to people.
Those are designers now.
That is
real designers.
That's
They
all
don't
I
think
so
tailors are
all they do
fashion
is
designers.
just imagine and just sketch out. Like, okay, what you and they give it to those that can do it.
That's the fashion
Okay, so
fashion designer is different from a tailor.
So he might not be an engineer.
Unfortunately, when it's
They don't know. A lot of people don't
when he
know.
just got father now, I think he's still
Once you are a tailor, you are
It's a
not
massive talent.
Yes, the talent.
Massive.
You're aware now.
It's just like saying the civil engineer and the building engineer and then the architecture. The architecture, in the fashion sense, the architecture is the fashion designer. His job is to map it out, structure it, design it. Then the civil engineer implements it, which is the job of the tailor in the fashion sense. That's exactly.
But one
that's
person
what
can
you
still
explain.
do all those things.
If the person has a gift, the person has a gift, of course.
Like I know you are.
It's just like music now, for instance. There's a songwriter and then there's a singer. Doesn't mean you can't do both.
But you still would never compare it to somebody who can draw and give.
No, you can compare. Talents are different. Talents, some people are vast. It depends.
Most of the songs are maybe that and that will never record.
Alright, so we'll be having engineering industry. And then we'll be having fashion design and clothing technology industry.
You want culinary?
Culinary skills. Can it stand on its own?
It's vast. It's huge.
Okay, what and what are under the
There's
culinary?
baking, there's cooking, there's
Food. If I even food, health, whatever, I can also fall under that. Food and dieting and all of those things.
So can we make it a catering and culinary industry?
just food culinary. Catering is still under culinary. Decorating, all those things. Culinary arts. See, art is real. Anything creative is art.
Some people are still taking that.
Anything, art is something that is real. Anything that you have to create is art.
You said something about fashion. Fashion is not technology.
Fashion design and clothing technology.
Oh, there's still one question that is bothering me personally about all this, which I feel like is one of the major people, like those in charge of this, need help or need our opinion and idea on all this. How is it going to run? Would there be like a form of registration? Would there be how does it benefit back? Would there be like, there will be anybody that needs a talent or that needs something done internationally on even within? Would there be like they will come, pay to have service? How is it going to? What is the modus operandi? Somebody mentioned something about modus operandi, the system of operation. How is it good? Apart from the departmental thing, how? Would there be like an identity for some people that I don't know.
I think we'll get there. I guess let's run this.
Because they call it a market. What I understand from this is it's called a market, international market. Okay. What is a market? A place where people buy and sell. So it's a place that is being created specifically for every talent to buy and sell service. So now it's not limited to just a particular place. That's why it's being called a city. So you know that, okay, when I'm looking for this thing, I can travel or I can go to this place and I can get what I want. When buying and selling there's tax. Tax is giving back to the system for continuity, for operational sake. This is bringing back to the economy. And if you pay tax to the city pays tax back to the government. Win-win for everybody. And the bigger it grows, the more foreign investment comes in, the more money comes in.
An additional aspect to what he said is the grooming aspect. It's a talent city. So there's a place for harnessing, discovering, developing, and then
there's a place for
market
selling
them.
So even that place of developing and discovering, it doesn't limit it to discover. That's why I asked from the very beginning, that is it an academy or is it for buying and selling? And you guys said both.
Yes.
So that means people already established, proficient people in their fields can still bring their service to market and sell.
That's what was saying.
So these people coming, these established people coming in are buying spaces, are buying shops, are buying houses, are buying. So it's an economy. It's
revenue. Let's write up this is what we are saying. Everything we are saying.
We understand. He's just trying to understand.
They need to write it.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we are submitting.
Okay, so that leads us to the next point: education. Like that's department now, or for education, might even be larger than one of these sectors or one of this industry, because it's actually the place where even people that have not been able to develop it will come there and be groomed, yes, and learn. People that are interested.
Will be the first point of call
education.
for all of these talents. Because most raw talents are on school. They are skilled, but unschooled. So most times you take them through the education because your skill will need basic education for you to be effective here. So let's run you through some months or weeks of programs. We'll give you the basic educational skills that you need. Then we can now spread you guys out to your various
then we can now put you
okay.
Possible like
so the idea now will be something like, maybe I'm a film practitioner and I buy a space in the city and I make adverts. If you want to learn directing, if you want to learn acting, come and learn. So that space I'm buying now, the money is going to the city. The people who comes to learn, the money is coming to me.
I pay tax to the government.
I pay tax to the government.
The people after learning, some of them can now go to the different departments.
You may not pay tax to the government because because the city is independent of the government. I think we need to start writing, and I would suggest everyone should write in case we miss something. You know, we had that issue the last time at the developing the talent economy document, so we missed a lot of things. So we could write whatever your ear can catch, starting from the structural and economical framework of the entire project. So we're talking about the talent international market. We're talking about a talent international market rather, named what's the name again? The Talent City.
The Talent City.
said secretariat. It will be very big. It will have the administrative block, it will have the accounting block, it will have this block, it will have the social block.
So are we saying that every account goes to that block?
No, in the secretariat, it will have all of those
Okay. The father called to remind us that the name still remains Talent City, not Talent Market. Because market is just one of the idea. Remember we said it's going to be a resident place. For, in his word, he said a resident place for a new breed that thinks innovatively. And so we cannot streamline it to just a market. That's the idea. That's why it's called a city. And then part of our job is also to
structures and engineering, and
let's be taking one after the other.
Let's focus on
because
handling.
obviously we will have multiple meetings over this.
And let's not stop frustrating talks here. Someone has to repeat the same thing again, just like they talk. Let's go straight to the point.
Can we get to work?
Okay, they made the point when we're not around. I think that's what we focus on. If for now I feel we should leave the sector aspect, because that is just one part, and talk about the city as a
This. People can buy land and build hotels in that city.
Can we start
So
with
you can buy a property there.
who comes in and all those remains of coming there to register, or is there going to be a particular code for registration or a kind of tactics or procedure for coming in or something like that? I think
and some other related
Please give her the pen. Let her be writing.
and some other related administrative, it's my turn actually. Some other related
Alright, let's listen.
Now,
Let's listen.
going further, there's something called management and maintenance. It's totally different from the secretariat. Management will be the first point of contact. That is when you vet those who come in and those who go out. They will be in charge of supervision of whatever goes in. It will be the talent on city.
I don't think that would fly.
and we have
That's why we have spaces to build. We have spaces to build hotels.
Hospitality department will tackle anything that has to do with.
We have houses within the residence. We have buildings. But I'm saying so because so we can have, it's just a suggestion.
Of course, for sure, it's an opinion.
So it can be a stringent adoption of kind of persons that will come to build in the city. It will be a way of, okay, those protocols are meant to actually monitor the process of those who will be coming to have their house or whatever. I'm saying this because it's one of those things we applied. One of those things applied in one of our, what we have, Redemption City. When you have a residence, you must spare a room when you build it. So that when those who come for conventions and congresses, they spare them.
That is the kind of a church quite.
Now that means that if a spiritual atmosphere can do that, a secular can even do that.
No,
it's not compulsory.
Okay, but let me add to what you said here. It's not better we now say
One house, please.
it's not better we just change it to have we talked about hotels and reservations.
No, all those ones will be there.
Instead of still going back to demand, that might be a little bit demanding and chasing away.
Some people might not feel comfortable accommodating somebody.
Not even the people due to the CPS might not feel comfortable
in
going to
somebody's
somebody's
house.
It doesn't. You are breaking someone's privacy. It's too work.
Guys, let's not forget, this is not an estate.
Exactly. In fact, can I suggest something? They can even make a policy that they don't accept residential buildings It is only facility
Owned
for
by
business.
Exactly.
Because they have a residential building themselves. Oh, but
Already.
left their house.
Exactly.
If all of us are building houses there.
Building houses there.
Okay, in that city, there will be commercial areas and residential areas. So in the commercial areas, you don't see residential areas there. And in the residential areas, you don't see...
It is only building commercial
In the residential areas.
The only residential building is owned by the talent city.
Okay, that's a major point. Let's segment it.
Because we're also trying to correct.
Yes.
We're trying to correct the already existing challenge that we have with our current
With our current
setup.
sector, yes.
People can just build filling station in one place like this. You understand? So we're trying to fix that challenge. Let residential areas be
Please, let's note that down.
commercial areas be commercial areas. Let educational areas be education. You understand?
It's a way of also complementing.
It still takes us back to the planning structure, which you guys said is out of our power. Because
No,
it's the designers, the architects.
this is just a structure. It's just a structure. There is, yes, we know how to map this place. You understand? Even the demarcation self, they will do it by themselves. But what we are suggesting is we'll have a residential area, we'll have a commercial area, we have an administrative area.
Planners know this now. Everybody is planning.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely, yes, yes.
And we want, if, except we want to say, okay, we want to have, if we want to make it beautiful and unique, it's good we have our own peculiar project team that will build for you. But though you can give them their design, for it to have, you know, when you get to, there are some...
This project team, sorry sir, I beg to differ, in the sense that if we want to really break beyond borders, we have to think like extraordinary. We don't have to put ourselves in a box. Having a project team puts us in a box.
No.
Wait, let me make my point. Having a project team puts us in a box in the sense that we now have only one pattern or something we want to do. Going back to that video, when foreigners were given access to own their lands, foreigners were also given the liberty to build whatever kind of structure they wanted to build. That was even the main point, which contributed massively to the rapid urbanization.
I believe what he's saying is they might build what they want, but there is a standard.
That is a standard.
You don't know the standard that you can't do beyond.
Of course.
Like you can go beyond.
Absolutely, definitely.
In building Dubai, when you come and buy something, they have a structure. They do. It is even their engineers.
Their engineers build for you.
I get his point. Now his point is also part of his point is that, for example, you want to erect an edifice.